Hey everyone, Cleo here and welcome to my channel, and today I'm giving you the second edition of my Booktube recommendations, this time the July edition. I know I'm way behind on this, I'm definitely trying to catch up, but I'm also filming a lot of other stuff and editing a lot of stuff and doing a lot of reading in the month of September, so I hope to be catching up. I definitely hope to be able to post my September recommendations in the month of October, for example. So we are on the month of July at the moment. In case you don't know the concept behind this video, so I will link the first video down below as well, and I will really briefly go over this, but I'll put the timestamp down below in case you want to skip this whole introduction as well. So the idea behind this is basically that I'm giving you like shoutouts to videos that I've seen on Booktube that I really have enjoyed, but of course this is very much limited to the amount of Booktube videos that I get done in a month and to the Booktubers that I'm subscribed to. I do try to branch out, and you will see that there's also a Booktuber on here, for example, that I will let you guys know is a new Booktuber to me, someone who I've discovered by making this video. But so I try to branch out and I try to prevent the same names from reoccurring, but everybody has their favorite Booktuber, so I also have my favorites that I watch every single time, and they have multiple great videos coming out every single time. So I do have two recurring people who I already shouted out in my June edition of this video, but so hopefully you'll forgive me for this. Definitely let me know down below if you have any further recommendations, because as I said, it's very much limited to the amount of Booktubers that I get to or Booktube videos that I get around to. So it's definitely, I definitely would love to see other recommendations. They don't need to be bound by a certain month or anything like that, just let me know down below. And that way also anybody who sees this video can see your recommendation as well. But so let's dive in. So the first video is a video by Hailey in Bookland, and it is a video, it's her execution of the How Well Do I Know My Book challenge video. So this challenge video has been going around Booktube a lot recently, and so I've watched multiple versions of this, but I think I really loved Hailey's the most just because she was clearly struggling through it all, and I don't know, sometimes a bit sadistic in that sense, I guess, and so I really loved watching her struggle, watching her power through it as well. So I could definitely relate a lot because I have a very horrible memory, and so this challenge is really not made for people with a horrible memory. So in case you don't know the concept behind it, so basically you ask your subscribers to give you a set of coordinates, and then the coordinates correspond to like one of your shelves, and then the second part of the coordinate is like the position of a book on that shelf. And then there's a list of questions and then each coordinate links to one question. And the question might be something like, what is the name of the sister of the main character? Unless you're talking about a Harry Potter book, I'm not going to know the answer to that question, regardless of which book I think. But so Hailey had a similar problem with a lot of these questions. And so I definitely recommend you guys to check it out. As with all of the other videos that I'm going to mention today, I will link the video down below, but I will also link the general channel of the creator so that you can have a look at their channel as well and see some more of their wonderful contents. Second video that I want to be referring to is a tag video that I really want to be getting around to at some point, and that is the literary fiction tag. The tag was originated by Jasmine from Jasmine's Reads, and this is also the video that I'm linking down below because it's a very recent tag. So the tag was created in July. I've already seen a couple of people take the tag, and I've really also enjoyed their talks about it. So literary fiction is basically a genre. It's not really genre, but it's one of my main genres that I read. So I mostly read fantasy or literary fiction, and also a little bit outside of these, but these are my main two preferences where reading is concerned. And so I definitely love hearing people talk about literary fiction, and also I love sharing my thoughts on works of literary fiction. Now it's a very diverse tag. It has it allows for you to talk about very different books in the literary fiction genre, and kind of also pushes you to look at different aspects of literary fiction. And so I've really enjoyed all versions that I've seen of this tag so far, so definitely check it out if you're interested, or if you want to branch out into literary fiction, because you'll explore some really great works of literary fiction through the answers that people are giving for this tag video. Third video is pretty much a very personal pick, because I think your enjoyment of this video is very much linked to whether or not, well, it's linked to your interest in the book that is being reviewed. So this is a book review by Shannon Ridler, and it's a book review for Moby-Dick by and it's a book review by Moby-Dick and it's a book review for Moby-Dick by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I hope that I'm cutting out all of these mistakes because I really had to try again for like 5 times to get this out. So it's a book review of Moby-Dick by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Now, I read this book, I don't know, 5 years ago or something at this point, and I kind of love to hate on it because I had a really horrible experience with it. If I'm asked to name my least favorite book of all time, Moby-Dick is the answer. There is no competition. Moby-Dick, Moby-Dick, Moby-Dick. So I like literary fiction, as I said. I also like classics a lot. I like discovering like why have these books stood the test of time? Why are we still studying them? Why are we still reading them? Why are we still enjoying them? And so I like to challenge myself to a classic from time to time. I usually try to, I try to get to some classics every year, but I also sometimes try to like challenge myself with a more challenging classic, as I did just now with War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. But one of these at some point was Moby-Dick by Nathaniel Hawthorne, and I gotta tell you, this was not it's not by Nathaniel Hawthorne. It took forever to pronounce it, so it's Moby-Dick by Herman Melville. So one of these was Moby-Dick by Herman Melville, and it wasn't pretty, you know. I thought it was boring a lot of the way. I constantly tell people that I can give you a summary of this book in like 2 sentences and you wouldn't be missing anything. That those 2 sentences will really be like the best thing that happens in the book. So yeah, I love to hate on this book, and so I love watching other people's experience with the book. I will say that I will try to paint it off as if like I'm looking for the reasons why other people like this book, but secretly I'm really just hoping to see other people hate this book as well, so that we can bash on this book together. But so yeah, in case you haven't read Moby-Dick, in case you're interested, check out this video and then maybe see if you're still interested. I will say Shannon doesn't give like, it's not like a rant review or anything like that, you know, it's a balanced review. I think she gives positives as well, but like it is overall clear that, as with my experience with Moby-Dick, she didn't really have a very positive experience with it, and she's kind of warning you against certain things that you might not like, so definitely would suggest to watch this video before going in to Moby-Dick. Next up is a video from the channel Read with Mo, and it is a bookish bucket list. Now I think this concept is brilliant. I don't know whether it's been done before, it's the first time that I see it, but I think it's something that could really easily catch on on Booktube, and that a lot of people would love to create. You know, it's a list of, as it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a bucket list about things that you want to do bookish-wise. So it could be like having your favorite book signed by the author, going to a reading from a certain author, being a part of the movie adaptation for a book that you like, going to a certain library that you've seen pictures of on Pinterest or on Instagram, all these types of things. And I think a great thing about this video is also it immediately gives you a lot of inspiration as well, because it's like her bookish bucket list. So I would definitely also like to see this catch on, just so that I can get some more inspiration for what you would actually be able to, for what you would actually put on a bookish bucket list. As I already kind of warned you guys about at the beginning of this video, next up is a video from somebody who I already shouted out to in my previous video. So previously I already shouted out a video of Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts, in which she gives her insight on the way that classics are interwoven into Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This month is going to be a very different video by her that I'm recommending. So it's a TBR video, and so this TBR video is basically like another booktuber chooses my TBR, and so it's a collaboration between different booktubers, in which they each kind of send a book package to the other with books that they would recommend to that person, or books that they think that really suit that person. And so I'm already looking forward to hopefully the second part, in which then we get a sort of wrap up of these books and like their enjoyment with these books, and whether they were indeed well suited to them, or whether they ended up being a little bit disappointed with some of them or anything like that. I definitely think it's a very nice concept and a nice new way of collaborating between booktubers. One that also doesn't really require you to be physically together in order to be able to shoot a collaboration. And so it's interesting to see, what somebody else chose for this person, but also then to go to the channel of that other booktuber and discover what the booktuber you are following recommended to them. It's also a nice way in that sense to discover some new booktubers, because it's possible that this collaboration is between somebody you're following and somebody you don't know. So I really love this concept, and I definitely hope it's going to be catching on as well. So if you're looking for a new inspiration for a collaboration video, definitely also give this concept a go, while at the same time, of course, shouting out to the original creator. Now, the next video is one of a booktuber that I have discovered while making this, my selection for this video, and that is Sara the Dreamer. So Sara made a sorting hat challenge. So it's a Harry Potter inspired challenge video in which you kind of gather a lot of character names from books that you really love, and you draw their names out of the mug or whatever you're keeping it in, and then you sort them into their houses. I think it could also be very interesting to see if you're, for example, putting in like all of your favorite characters, like whether they all end up being from a certain house or not, whether that, it might say something about your own personality to figure out where these characters belong. But so it's on my long list of videos I might one day want to film. But so I really enjoyed this video, and I've since watched some other videos by her, and I can give you a little sneak peek and say that next month I also have one of her videos down for the Booktube recommendations. So yeah, so much for diversifying, but I definitely don't mind shouting out a creator multiple times, because if you're making good content, then I feel I'm more than happy to shout out to you time and time again. Next up is a video by Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and it is a comparison of audiobook subscription services. So mainly it's to look into Script and Audible. She also puts Overdrive into the equation. Now, Overdrive for me personally wasn't that interesting because I don't have access to it here in Belgium, but it could be interesting for somebody else, and I think the video overall is just a very interesting video it's an interesting reference to refer to if you're like looking up, if you want to start into audiobooks and you really don't know which subscription service would suit you. So she gives a nice overview of like the ups and like the positives and the negatives of each of these subscription formulas, and really like kind of steers you in a direction in case you want to have more access to newly released books, or if you want to have just a lot of value for your money and you don't care that much about releases being new or anything like that. So all of these things are taken into consideration. So I think it's a very interesting video to watch if you're considering signing up to one of these subscription services. Next up is a video that at this point is no longer very, it's no longer punctual to put it out now, but I'm still keeping it in because I can also refer to a newer video by this creator. And so this is the Booker Longlist reaction video from Karl Anderson. He's now also has a shortlist reaction video because the shortlist has come out in the meantime. So I will link both videos down below, but I always love watching Karl Anderson's videos about the Booker Prize. It's also my second shout outs to this channel in my 2 videos which I've done in this series. I will try to go with, like, it might even be a challenge for me not to include Karl's videos in every single one of my recommendations videos, but I'll definitely try to sometimes not include him, but I'm telling you, it'll be difficult. I really love watching Eric's videos. So he mainly does literary fiction, but he has a very interesting way to describe them. I always think it's interesting, and I think he's very passionate about the books that he describes, and he's always able to like share his enthusiasm about these books with me. So I always become super excited about reading these books after watching Eric's review. So I would definitely recommend you guys to check out his channel. Definitely if you're interested in any type of like literary prizes, he's very much engaged in like reading for literary prizes. So he does like I definitely know he does the Booker Prize and he does the Women's Prize, but I'm definitely forgetting some probably as well. And so definitely check out his channel because I think it's absolutely wonderful, and he will have these very interesting like original takes on videos from time to time, and he often sits outside in nature to do his videos, which is a very soothing effect on the watcher. And then the final video that I'm going to be shouting out is a video by Sara from Booksandquills, and that is a video all about epigraphs. Now, I didn't know really what an epigraph was before going into this video, so I knew the concept once it was explained, but I didn't know the term epigraph at all. And it's basically like the sort of quotes that are often included before you get into a book. So like it might even be before the title page, but I don't think, but it's like before you get into the book. And these are like quotes from other books, for example. Like it is referencing other books or other works, other lyrics or anything like that, famous quotes or anything like that. And so she's kind of starting a discussion about like what are these epigraphs doing? Are they steering our writing? Are they just things to set us into a certain mood? Do we actually gain something from them? Is it something that we actually basically ignore or anything like that? And then she also gives an overview of like her favorite epigraphs, and there are some really beautiful ones in there. So I think it's an interesting discussion, because I definitely think that upon rereading a book, an epigraph can seem like very important. You know, you'll see like it can seem like on the nose. You can be like, yes, that is really what this book is about, and it was actually captured at the very beginning of the book. But whether upon a first read of a book, whether you're really like, what does an epigraph do to a reader upon a first reading, is a concept that I find to be very interesting, and that I really love that she kind of put that question in my mind. You know, I'll definitely be paying I'll definitely be paying a lot more attention to the epigraph for a long time to come, I think, because of this video. So definitely have a look at it down below. So as I said before, I'm linking all of the videos for the, I'm linking all of the videos mentioned down below. I'm also linking the creator's original channel for them. You can also find the previous edition of this video, so the June edition, down below, and I'll start working on the August edition. So I already have the selection, I just need to sit around and film this thing and edit it. But so yeah, I just need to point out that I do not have a fixed filming schedule or posting schedule. I film whenever, I post whenever, but I'm recently into a very good filming mood, so normally a lot of video content is going to be coming out. But so yeah, see you guys for the next one. Bye!